Hey there guys, how are you? It's super late at night. I'm about to pass out, but before I do, I figured we'd record a Q&A video because it's my favorite type of video to make. Some people say, "John, all you make is Q&A videos." And my response to you is, well, I like making Q&A videos. A lot of people like watching them. And for me, it's more interesting because I get to interact with you guys. You guys send me Snapchat videos here on Snapchat. I get to look at your magical, mystical faces. And we get to talk about a multitude of topics rather than just talk about one movie for 8 minutes. Well, I get to talk about 20 different movies and Blu-rays and TVs and YouTube and my life. And you guys ask a whole bunch of random weird shit. And it's sort of just a good time and it's laid back. So without further ado, here we go. Oh yeah, one thing I did want to mention though. And very quickly before we dive into the Q&A, I wanted to let you know this video is brought to you by Vikings War of Clans, which was inspired by the famous strategy and RPG games of the 1990s. Like the game Diablo, which I watched my cousin play for 3 days straight without taking a shower. That is a true story. These are games that we loved and played with dedication like today's youngsters will never understand. What makes Vikings World so addictive is that there's more than 20 million online players that are constantly changing the way the game evolves by never-ending fighting over resources, forging new alliances, and competing in live events. Help support my channel by downloading Vikings free, only for my links in the description box. And get a special bonus of 200 gold coins and a protective shield, which will be extremely useful for the start.
Hi John, are you looking forward to the new Terminator film that Tim Miller and James Cameron are making? And I'm taking a shit right now.
As I would imagine 90% of you are doing right now. That's what I would be doing if I wasn't recording a video. But then again, that would make for a much more interesting video, wouldn't it? Yeah, sort of, kind of looking forward to it. You know, after watching Terminator Genesis, and then you had James Cameron going on interviews praising the movie, saying, yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know if James Cameron lost his touch or he was just lying, but yeah, I'm sort of kind of looking forward to it, mildly so. I just want a good Terminator movie. We'll never recapture what we had with T2, but hopefully one day we will.
Hey John, so if you had a chance to meet any cast members of the Avengers, but you had to sacrifice never watching Endgame, would you do it?
No, I would probably just watch Endgame and go on with my life. I don't really care to meet any of them. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. would be pretty cool, but you know, if Nicolas Cage was in the Avengers, yes, I might sacrifice watching the movie to meet Nicolas Cage. Maybe he could be the coked out version of the new Iron Man or something.
John, what's up? Who do you think is a better director, Spielberg or Scorsese?
Two very different directors that tell very different stories. You know, from a visual standpoint, I think you're always going to get more of a spectacle with Spielberg, obviously, but sometimes from a story standpoint, I prefer what Scorsese does. I mean, he captures the grittier side of a story. You know, look at films like Taxi Driver, for example, which I think is phenomenal. And as I've gotten older, you know, I think my taste has maybe gone the direction of someone like Scorsese over Spielberg. And also Spielberg, in my opinion, hasn't really made a phenomenal movie in, I don't know, 15 years. The last film I loved of his was maybe Catch Me If You Can. I'm hoping he recaptures that glory at some point.
Hi John, it's your favorite blind viewer.
Thank you.
So, I just want to know, what do you think's going to happen in Infinity War? Steve Rogers?
Thank you for the question. She's been watching my videos for a very long time, so thank you for that. Gosh, you know, I have a whole bunch of fan theories about Infinity War, or not Infinity War, Endgame. You said Infinity War. Wrong movie, right? I have some theories. I'm curious how much of this film Thanos is actually in the film. I think it'll be... I don't know. He won in the last film, so it's sort of like in this film, do you just have the Avengers trying to go back in time and fix the things of the past? Or it's a 2.5 hour movie, so I feel like we're going to see a lot less of Thanos than we expect. That's why we're not really seeing him in the trailers. Or I can be completely wrong. But I feel like there's another threat looming in the distance. And I almost feel like Thanos will try to redeem himself ever so slightly. Just my theories, that's all I know, but...
Hey, John. What's up? It's Victor here. Do you like horror movies? And which horror movies do you like?
Like the one where you sent me a Snapchat with no shirt on, man. Uh, of course I like horror movies. Sure, yeah, absolutely. You know, in the last, like, if I had to pick one from like the last 5 or 6, 7, 10, 15 years, movies like The Ring, The Conjuring. I'm pretty picky when it comes to my horror movies. You know, a lot of them for me don't have a lot of rewatchability, but the ones that do are like stand out to me. But if I had to go back and like pick one from my childhood that always scared the shit out of me, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hey man, I just want to know what your thoughts are on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm a huge fan of yours, and keep doing what you're doing, alright, buddy? Thanks.
Thanks, man. Super excited for it. Might be one of my most anticipated movies of the summer. The poster doesn't look very enticing, does it? Sort of looks like a network cable TV show that's going to be canceled after the second episode. Just a really bad poster design, very generic. But I'm hoping the movie's better than the poster, and it should be. Anything Tarantino does, I love. I rewatch it over and over. I just lose myself in the dialogue. For example, I've rewatched The Hateful Eight maybe 4 times, and every time I watch that movie, I find something new, or I discover some little nuance in the film, and it's captivating to me. So I'm hoping this movie just blows me away.
Hey, John, who will win in Godzilla vs. Kong? Hey.
Come on, no one's really going to win in that movie. It's going to be a tie. And what's really going to happen is they're going to fight for 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes, and then they're going to team up and take down a bigger threat. That's how that plays out.
Hey, John.
Hey.
Have you heard of the band Dream Theater? They take super heavy riffs like Metallica, Pantera, and technical stuff like Rush, Genesis, Yes, bands like that, and combine them. So you get a super techy metal, just wave of awesomeness.
A wave of awesomeness that washes over you. That sounds really cool, man. That's the kind of stuff I like. I will look into that, and that might be going on my playlist for the gym. So let me look into that.
Who do you think is one of the most badass movie characters of all time? Probably mine's has got to be Ryan Gosling's character from A Place Beyond the Pines. I mean, muscles, tattoos, and motorcycles.
Yeah. The Moto Bandit, man. Yeah, I definitely I did like that character until he dies in the first 30 minutes of the movie. I was really hoping they somehow had a whole movie about that character, which they should have, because the second act and the third act of that movie just got really forgettable. Yeah, the Moto Bandit's a good one. I like anti-heroes. And you know, a badass character is actually Tommy from the movie Warrior, starring Tom Hardy. Just walks into the cage, kicks everyone's ass, walks out, no intro, no music or anything when he's a UFC fighter. Nah. You weren't there. You weren't there when my mother was on her hands and knees in the house with that heat puking up blood. Nah, you were somewhere getting drunk. So why don't you take your war stories down to the VFW? Because maybe they'll give a damn. Huh? Pretty good, I know.
Hey, John. It's just, me and my buddy here. Why has there never been a Small Soldiers, sequel? Love you.
Out of all the questions in the universe to ask, good question, man. You know, it's like Pixar. No, Small Soldiers came out in '98. Toy Story came out in '95. Yeah, good question. You think they would have? Maybe the marketplace is only so big for toys that come to life. But at least the ones in Toy Story don't try to kill you.
John, why didn't you buy Robin Hood? John.
Yeah, Robin Hood. It's over here somewhere. Where the hell is it? I have it. So this was sent to me by the studio to talk about and review. I didn't talk about it and I didn't review it. It's here. I will never probably watch this, but I own it for now. So, yeah.
Johnny Flick.
Hey.
If you weren't doing YouTube, would you ever consider a career as a personal trainer or a fitness instructor? feel like you...
That's a good question. You know, I don't know. I probably, and if I wasn't doing YouTube, I'd probably be delivering pizzas or something, which I did for many years of my life throughout college and my early 20s. Really enjoyable job. I don't want to ever go back to it though. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'd work in advertising or marketing, or I work with a lot of advertisers as it is, and marketing companies, and I feel like sometimes they don't know what they're talking about, and so maybe I could go into that field. Would I be a personal trainer though? I don't know. You know, I'm still into fitness. I was really into it a couple years more so than now, but I'm still into it. I don't know. I don't know if I would have the patience for it. You know, to be honest, I truly don't know because as far as like workout routines and things like that, I never truly did a dedicated workout routine, and I'm one of those people that changes it up every day. So it'd be hard for me to tell someone else exactly what to do. I can give tips and helpful guides, but I don't know. I think if I told someone else my method of how I work out, they'd look at me like I was utterly insane. So, which they already do.
Hey John, big fan. Who do you like better as an actor, Matt Damon or Leonardo DiCaprio?
You know, I'm actually more of a Leonardo DiCaprio guy. I think he's played in more pivotal roles that relate to me. All around, he's just more of, I guess, he's in roles that I relate to more. You know, like an underrated movie like Blood Diamond, love him in that. Catch Me If You Can, loved him in that. I liked him as Jack in Titanic. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. That's the first time I looked at boobs with my mom beside me. The first time. The first time and the last time.
Do you think physical media is dying? Thoughts?
Is physical media dying, or Blu-rays going away, or these little optical discs that we put in paper cases going to disappear one day? I hope not. I truly hope not, but are they? Yes, probably. I think we got another 4 or 5 years left. Companies are still making them, but the one thing they're going to stop making are Blu-ray players. I think there's I think Samsung has decided to stop manufacturing Blu-ray players, and usually when you have a big manufacturer like that saying, you know what, we're done with this, a lot of others follow in their footsteps, which is kind of a scary thing. I hope it never goes away. I think there's always going to be a market for physical media like you and I. I like it more. You can't get the same quality that you get on a 4K disc with streaming. You can't. It doesn't matter how great your internet is. It still doesn't look as great. You can pause it and see little pixels and noise, and the audio will never be as functional or as amazing or as top-notch as it is with physical media. But I will say I think optical discs are almost obsolete because you can have a little SD card that has 100 times more memory and space on it, and it's much smaller and probably cheaper to manufacture than the discs that we get now. So in my opinion, they should have probably a long time ago developed little SD cards or something along those lines as the physical media that we get, because we're still using discs. You know, those came out in the 1980s. So yeah, I think physical media will be around for a little bit. You know, we just got 4K. They're sort of sandbagging the technology, because then after 4K, maybe we get 8K one day, and then the market's even smaller for that because barely anyone wants to buy 4K Blu-rays. I can't imagine anyone buying 8K Blu-rays and re-upgrading all of their shit. I know it would take me a very long time to justify that. But yeah, I do hope it sticks around for a while because it comforts me. It makes me feel safe at night. And if it leaves, well, a little piece of me will leave, and I'll have a void in my life. And what else am I going to put on that big shelf in my kitchen? You know? What, books? Come on.
Hey John, I was wondering what past girlfriends have thought about your channel, and also what are your opinion on the Rambo movies?
What a great lineup of questions. Could they be any more conflicting? Yeah, so past girlfriends, I don't know. All of my past girlfriends you probably saw in my videos at one point or another. I don't know if that was a smart thing or a good thing, but it happened. At least I have, like, you know, here's proof that they exist in some form or fashion. But they all generally liked it. It was either a really good thing that I made YouTube videos or a terrible thing. But for the most part, they were all supportive of it.
John, how many kills do you
Not enough. And by the way, speaking of Rambo, I just watched Rambo 3 the other day where he fights some man with sticks for 5 minutes in the first part of the movie. Then the rest of the movie gets really boring. The only Rambo I really like is the first one, but I am excited for the new one coming this year.
What's good, John? Huge fan of your videos, so
Thanks,
I had
man.
a question for you. If you had to pick between one of these movies to keep and one of them to get rid of forever and never see again, what would you pick? Terminator 2 or Stand By Me?
Oh, you piece of shit. That's a tough one. T2, the best action film ever made, or Stand By Me, the best coming to age film ever made that makes me think about my life every time I watch it. Shit. They both make me feel so much. I think I've seen T2 more. I think I might get a little more from T2 in terms of just growing up. You know, it kind of defined my taste in films and action. I'm going to go with I would keep T2. I think it's a fundamental action film that's needed in cinematic history. Stand By Me is also right there alongside with it. But man, if I just had to watch one movie over and over again the rest of my life, I'd probably go with T2. But Stand By Me. Every time Richard Dreyfuss gives that line at the end of the movie, a little tear trickles out of my eye.
What is your thoughts on Captain Marvel and Happy Death Day 2?
I didn't watch Happy Death Day 2. I don't plan on it, and I never will. As far as Captain Marvel goes, I gave it a C. I have a 9-minute movie review over on the Flickpick channel. Check it out. And we also talked about it on the podcast tonight, which is on my Patreon, for like 5 minutes, and we gave spoiler thoughts. So I don't think I can talk about that movie anymore. I think I'm just like, ugh, I'm done.
Oh no!
Oh, wait.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's great. That is great. Upload that to like Facebook, man. That's a viral video you got right there.
John, what movie review, film review, what have you, do you consider the most fun you've had filming?
That's a tough one. Some of the collabs I've done with Stuckman over the years were fun to film. The most hatred I think I've ever been able to unleash for a film review was for Fantastic Four Stick. When was that? 2015? 2016? Go watch my Fantastic Four movie review. All right, let's get this focused. Sorry, the camera died. So a few quick updates before I go. And by the way, guys, thank you for all the great Snapchat questions. I appreciate it. I like looking at your faces. Probably more than you like looking at mine. But one quick update is I will be moving this weekend, and I don't have a lot of time to edit videos. I do have 4 videos. 4 very funny vlog videos that I want to put out. I'm trying to put them together, but a lot of things culminated this week where I'm moving about 600 miles away to Alabama. I will explain what I'm talking about. If you follow me on Patreon and you listen to the podcast, I spoke about it tonight. I gave, all the details. But I'll keep you guys updated in the next video or two. But just know a lot of videos are coming. I have them recorded. Some flip trip videos. Me and Chris went to a wrestling WWE pay-per-view. We went to WizardCon. So yeah, some good shit's coming. Look out for that. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I think I'm gonna go to bed right now because my eyes are shutting. So much packing to do. And I'll see you guys next time.